Good morning, class of 2026. This is Mr. Molina, your counselor, and welcome to Warrior Way on February 1st, 2024. Today we're going to be talking about a couple of different things. We'll start with a quick recap of the graduation pathways, which you've heard before, and then we'll talk about scheduling for the upcoming year. Since you've heard the graduation pathways and the requirements to graduate before, I'm not going to spend too much time on it. We've gone over this both last year and this year multiple times, so you should be getting the hang of it by now. In short, you need three things to graduate. One, you got to earn all your credits to earn your diploma. Two, you have to show employability skills. And three, you have to show post-secondary competencies. Number one is that diploma. Right here are all of the credits required to earn the Core 40, that standard diploma that you need to graduate. Basically, you need 8 credits in English, 6 credits in math, 6 in science, 6 in social studies, 2 for PE, 1 for health, 1 for PC, and then a bunch of electives. For the academic honors, you need all that stuff I previously mentioned, but you need 2 additional math credits beyond Algebra 2. You need either 3 years of one world language or 2 of one and 2 of another, so 6 to 8 world language credits, 2 credits in fine art, 2 AP or dual credit classes, no grades beneath a C-, and a 3.0 or higher GPA by the time you graduate, which comes out to 47 total credits. For the technical honors, that's for those of you who are probably going to C9, you need all of the Core 40, those standard requirements, but you also need 6 college credits in a career pathway, additional testing, AP or dual credit achievements, again, no semester grades beneath a C-, and again, that 3.0 or higher GPA at graduation, which totals out to 47 credits as well. Box 2, we're not going to talk about because we build that into a bunch of our different programming, including the Warrior Way service projects. But Box 3, that post-secondary competency, you need to do one of these things to show that you're ready to do something after high school. You can either take something like a standardized test like the SAT and earn a 530 or higher in math and a 480 or higher in English, earn either of those honors diplomas, or complete some dual credit or AP classes with a C- or higher. So those of you going for the ICC, that's going to count for your Box 3 requirement. If you're thinking about joining the military, starting junior year and then again in senior year, you'll have the opportunity to take the ASVAB. That's the military aptitude test. And as long as you get a 31 or higher, that will also count for Box 3. And then finally, you can also go down the employment path, which is where you take 3 of those CTE, those career pathway classes. So 6 credits of them in that path. That could be anything from our business classes, our foods classes, computers, agriculture, etc. There are a lot of different options, and many of you are in the first or second year of those pathways now. You have to have an average of a C- or higher in those classes by the time you finish the pathway. If you're going to C9, that also would count for those pathway classes. So we have a lot of different options. Everybody needs to do one of these things. If you do more than one, great, but you have to do at least one. Now, the real focus of today's lesson is going to be how scheduling is going to work this year. It's going to be a little different than it has been in the past, so this is a brief timeline of how things are going to work. First up, today, we are just focusing on your core 4 classes: English, math, science, and history. Next week, so next Thursday during Warrior Way, we're going to be talking about your 3 remaining spots. That's where your electives are going to be, your pathways, if you're doing C9 or the Warrior Achievement programs, anything like that, that's next week. So if you have any questions about that stuff, hold on to it. You don't need to be asking your teacher or myself right now. We'll get there when we get there. There will be time, and there'll be plenty of time, when we finish this entire process for you to get that individual time to ask your questions, and I promise I will answer them, but you just have to be patient. The week after that, so February 12th to the 16th, myself and all the other counselors are going to be in the cafeteria for every single lunch period for the entire week. That is your prime opportunity to come in and ask me any questions you may have. We'll be there. It'll just sort of be come and go. You don't need to set an appointment. Just whenever you're done eating, or if you get there early, come and talk to us. We'll answer your questions then. And then finally, after that week in the cafeteria, so February 20th until spring break, I'm going to be calling you all down to probably the LGI in groups based on your career pathway or your graduation pathway. In those meetings with those groups, we're going to be going over everybody's schedules to make sure that you're in the correct thing to move down that pathway, and also that you're in the right classes to either earn the ICC if you're going for that, honors diplomas, picking the right electives, all of that kind of stuff. I know this is a new process and you're going to have a lot of questions. Just make sure that as you think of them, you write them down somewhere and hold on to them until the appropriate time. So today, we are just focusing on those core classes. What you're going to do is you're going to log into your student view. First, you're going to check your diploma type. You can access this under the Course History tab. Most of you know how to do this, or you've at least looked at it before. If you are listed as the wrong diploma type, send me an email. These diploma types were chosen or were selected based on your classes, your grades that you've earned so far, and a couple other things. So if you have questions about it, go ahead and send me that email. After you've checked that diploma type, you're then going to check the 4 core classes that we have already loaded you into under the Course Requests tab. So this year, based on your grades so far and the classes you've already taken, we loaded you into an English, history, math, and science classes. All of those classes are required to graduate. If you did really well in pre-AP classes or potentially honors chem or stuff like that this year, we're moving you along to the next level. If you did okay or really well in standard classes, we're moving you on as well. We preloaded those to take a little bit of the stress off of the selection process. What's important is that you have all 4, so 1 math, 1 science, 1 history, and 1 English, in your Course Requests tab. If you have other things in that tab, so some of you may already be loaded into a world language or a pathway class, ignore that for now. We are just focusing on the 4 core classes. After you've checked those 4, you're going to go to that bit.ly link, that is a Google form, where you're going to make a little bit of a selection for your science class and give me a little bit of information based on what was loaded in for you. Your teacher also received that link, and they will be posting it in their Google Classroom so you can easily access it. I will also be emailing that out at some point today or tomorrow. What you are not going to do right now. You're not going to email me about changing your core classes. Like I said, those questions have to wait. This year, the way that we are doing class changes is that after everybody has all their schedules in, so around spring break, we are going to release a parent class change request form. This has to be filled out by your parent or guardian. If you fill it out yourself, or if you send me an email saying, hey, I am listed to be in AP English, but I really want to be in Standard English, I'm not going to change it until we have that request form in. That will be coming out, and it will be sent out to all of the families around spring break, so be on the lookout for that if you want to change anything. The important thing today is to make sure that you're in 4 core classes. You're also not going to be emailing me about any of those elective requests or pathways or C9. If you have questions about the process, you can email me. But if you're saying, hey, why is this not on my schedule, don't worry about it yet. We will cover that next week. What you're also not going to do is panic. Like I said, it is a new process. Give it some time, write down any questions you have, and make sure you ask them at the appropriate time. So once again, a couple of important dates to remember. Next Thursday, electives and pathways and all of that. The week after that, I'm in the cafeteria to answer questions all week long. The week after that, we start those small group meetings to solidify schedules. And then spring break and beyond, that's when that parent-guardian schedule change window opens. We have until the end of the year to make sure that your schedule is correct, so we have plenty of time. Be patient, ask your questions when the time comes, And until then, happy classes.